Hello everybody. So today we are talking about word formation. We finished with word classes, so now you know all the terms that I'm going to be using, and we continue with word formation. And we are going to finish off the lesson with some practice as well. Don't you worry. So first, what is word formation? Well, simply said, it means that we are creating a new word from an existing word. And the focus this time is on different word classes because there are different ways to create new words and there are different aims to do so. But this time we are focusing on the different word classes that we just talked about in the last lesson. So some examples to make the whole topic a bit easier. For example, I might need to make a noun out of an adjective. So length out of long. Because I need to talk about the length of my trousers to say how long they are. I might need to make a verb out of a noun. So I might want to say that because my trousers are short, I need to lengthen them. Or I might need to make an adjective out of a verb. Beneficial from benefit, or an adverb out of an adjective. So depending on what I need, I'm going to use word formation to create the exact word that is necessary at the current moment. So how to form words? There are more different ways, but we are going to focus on two, because that is all you need for now, I think. This is the most practical word formation lesson that I can give you. We are not going into too much detail, but just the basics. So we have two ways to do so. We can use prefixes, which go in front of the word, and we can use suffixes that go at the end of a word. There are also methods like conversion, compounding, and abbreviating, but we won't go into those at the current moment, just to keep it simple. So we'll go into a bit more detail on prefixes. So prefixes, as I mentioned, are added in front of the word. And why do we do so? To change the meaning. If I need an opposite, an antonym, if I need a certain coloring to a word, then I don't have to choose a whole other word. I can just add a prefix and I can get my result. So this doesn't change the word class. The prefixes are the things that go in front of the word and don't change a noun into a verb. Now here I've given you some examples of the most used prefixes that you might need, with some examples as well, and the meaning of the prefix in the middle. So when the meaning says not or negative, then it means, so for example, when something happens often, it's typical. Now, if I want to stress that something is rare, it doesn't happen often, then I can say it's atypical. It means that it's the negative form of the verb typical. Or I can say the negative form of the verb activate would be deactivate. So it's definitely important whether you get the command to activate or deactivate the bomb. Now there are also some negative prefixes that are used with certain letters. So sometimes it's difficult to understand why it's impossible, not ill-possible, or unpossible, or illegal, not unlegal. Yes, un is the most used prefix for not or for the opposite form, but before an L, there is usually an IL, ill. Before a B, M, or P, there's usually an im, and before an R, there is usually an IR, so irreplaceable, irregular. So there are some things that you just have to know. that are kind of exceptions. In is also used quite often to express the not. So I haven't included all of the possible prefixes you can find, just some of the most common ones that you probably might need the most. So you can see that most of them turn the adjective or the noun opposite. So let's go on with suffixes. So suffixes are the part of the word that is at the end of the word. So they are added at the end. And these are the things you need to change the word class. Now again, I have not added all of the possible suffixes ever created, but just some that you might find useful. So I have brought out the suffix, the meaning of it or what it does, and an example of it. Now for the first one, ISE ending usually is used for turning nouns into verbs. For example, if I have the word organization, I can make organize out of it. Apology, apologize. Now, the most common adverb ending the suffix is ly. So the words happily, sadly, for example, have an ly ending. So there are different ways to turn nouns into adjectives. One of them is to use the FUL for hopeful, cheerful. You can also use less, hopeless, stressless. So a more negative meaning. When I'm hopeful, I have hope. When I'm hopeless, I don't have hope. So it's the difference in meaning as well. I can also use AL for beneficial, naval, having to do with the navy, the sea. ISH for childish, foolish. So as you can see, different ways to do so. To form nouns out of adjectives, we can use ness, like happiness and sadness, or ITY, like stability, formality. So there are different ways to do so. The most common way to make verbs out of adjectives is to use the EN or the IFY ending. So lengthen, shorten, simplify would be examples of that. Now here are some more examples of suffixes that you can use, and you can make notes on that. So you can see that one suffix can help you make a noun out of a verb, and there are different kind of examples for that. So AL used for expressing condition or quality, and so forth. Now, time to practice. But first, some examples. So, you can see that we can make different word classes out of one word. So out of the noun sadness, I can make the verb sadden, the adjective sad, and the adverb sadly. There is a misspelling there, sadly should be. Out of the noun significance, I can make signify, significant, significantly. So not all words are made into every word class, and you can see that some word classes like prepositions, conjunctions, and exclamations are not included, but you can see some examples that are quite well used that you might need and could come in handy. So we'll continue with practice. I hope you are at ease and feel confident, and I'll see you again soon.